Today I'm speaking to Chris Foster, CEO of Saatchi Saatchi Asia Pacific. Chris, thank you so much for talking to AdAsia today.
Great.
So what led Saatchi Saatchi to move from Sydney to set up the regional headquarters in Singapore?
Well, actually, it was a choice my predecessor had made, and he was Australia-based. Prior to that, the regional headquarters had always been based in Asia, so either in Hong Kong or in Singapore. So it's not really moving the headquarters. I think this makes most sense geographically. You know, if you think about now the region and its expanse from Australia, New Zealand, all the way to Japan, Korea, being located at one end makes it very difficult, even just physically, to service the region. Being at the center of it, literally, is, I think, where we need to be. My most recent job was running Fallon as CEO in the US for the past 3 years, which I absolutely loved. For me, though, coming back to Asia is a bit like coming home. It was about 7 years ago now, I guess I spent a good deal of time, 6 to 7 years in the region, based in Hong Kong, based in Tokyo, working with Saatchi, running the P&G business, running our office in Tokyo, and then taking on a broader responsibility. Absolutely feels like I'm coming home, and I love Asia, I love being here.
You are reported as saying that the future of the advertising industry will be in Asia. Would you like to comment on that or give a further elaboration?
I think we have a unique opportunity in this part of the world, both from a client standpoint and from a business standpoint. Asia for me is a place where you can kind of break and remake global alliances with clients. Clients and agency folk alike come to Asia, work in Asia, and live in Asia because they are, I feel, a little bit more entrepreneurial. They do want to make a difference. And the business climate is a bit different here. So if you look at it versus the US or Western Europe, where you're oftentimes talking about incrementalism and how do we manage a quarter of a SharePoint here or SharePoint there. The possibilities for growth here dictate basically that you have an inclination to break through. So how do you create newness? How do you create things that are new to the world that can create that kind of change quickly? Especially across Asia, we're used to change very, very quickly, and in the developing world, that's something that characterizes the developing world. So how can we learn from that and capitalize on that to export to the rest of the world? So I think it's not just a nice to have. I think that actually has to be the charter for us in this region, in this industry.
I hear a number of clients, even today, complaining that advertising agencies do not understand the digital media, and more especially the mobile industry. Would you like to tell me what steps is Saatchi Saatchi taking to overcome and be on the ball in this area?
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I think clients should also bear the burden of that a little bit too, because I'm not convinced that they understand it either. I think we're going through an incredible growth phase with all these new technologies, and I think that's right. We're feeling our way through and we're learning it. In terms of strategy and how I'm thinking about it for us, for the region, there are 3 separate ways. You can either build the capability, you can buy the capability, or you can borrow the capability. And I think we're working across all of that. So we'll be developing and building great hubs, and we are already here in Singapore and Australia, New Zealand, and the last thing you want is your client sort of being ahead of you in this front. And I think it's really important we as an industry continue to lead the conversation and continue to develop in this sector so that we can continue to provide added value for our clients.
There's quite a lot of attention in Singapore given to education and training. Are you finding it easy to get good talent, and what steps is Saatchi Saatchi taking to ensure that your staff are trained?
I think the thing that I've been actually quite encouraged by in my 6 weeks so far in the region is the level of talent that we have in Singapore and our ability to attract that talent, because it is such a multicultural melting pot. I think in the ideas business it's crucial to have that kind of multi-ethnic diversity quotient, because it's from different perspectives and different ways of thinking that new ideas come. In terms of ongoing training, we look at it in two ways. One, there are internal training programs which we do, which are more sort of globally driven and Saatchi focused. But then there's lots of external training that I think is important that we embrace.
Tell me, what are your current accounts now in the region, and what sort of accounts would you like to add to your portfolio?
I think we have the luxury of having a great client roster, and I think it's really enviable. So P&G, Toyota, Lexus, Mead Johnson, Kraft, Cadbury. We do work with Lenovo as well. So there are some great clients. General Mills we do across the region as well. So we have some great client fundamentals to build from. There are sectors that we've identified I'd like us to get more heavily into technology. That's important as we talk about developing our digital space, so we've got some real opportunities on that front coming up. I'd also like to see us get back into financial services. We've had a good and healthy run on financial services.